Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to part two, the afternoon session, the hour power. Right now, I got a special thing that just got released a few weeks ago. It's called the MAG 10. Has anybody here ever heard of the MAG 7? Right? You guys all know about the MAG 7 stocks. Today, we are going to talk about the MAG 10. All right. So let's get started right away. And I am going to show you guys what we are talking about. Oh, can't share that one. Hold on one second. Share my screen, share this tab. All right, so let's see if you guys can all see that. What are you guys seeing? Add to the stage. There we go. Animated. And I want to make sure we got the right thing up here. Control copy. Control paste. And no, hold on here. Too many things going on. Okay, so I am sharing that screen. You guys can see that. All right, so let me see. Where did that go? That is right over here. Okay, so see if hopefully the audio is playing. This thing is always an issue here. All right, so let me make sure you guys can all see that correctly. I want to make sure I'm not wasting my time. Yep, there we go. All right, so guys, welcome. We all know the MAG 7, right? The MAG 7, they actually made an index called the MAG 10 index options. And what's amazing about this is it's cash settled, meaning at the end of the day, it expires, right? And you don't have to worry about assignment of stocks, this European exercise, and you get tax advantage for trading this index. And this index is comprised of these 10 stocks. AVGO, which is Broadcom. This is the new one that's added to the MAG 7, right? The initial MAG 7 was Apple, Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, Google, NVDA, and Amazon. And the new ones that they add on here are PLTR, AMD, and Broadcom. So you get exact exposure into the top 10 tech companies. They all have equal weighting, and this is where their product comparison, if you want to compare the MAG 10 versus like the Qs, the MAG 7, etc. And this is what we're going to talk about in this segment. So let's take a look at a quick intro.
Mandy, SIBO recently launched our Magnificent 10 Index this past October of 2025. I know this index came off the back of some sentiment that we're seeing in the market. I was hoping you could get a little bit into those trends and themes that were used to help build this index.
Sure. I would say the outperformance of tech and the emerging trend of AI have been really hot topics in conversations we've had with clients, both institutional as well as retail. And one common sentiment that's kind of across the board is just people looking for more efficient ways to gain exposure to this theme and thematic investing in general. And gain exposure both to the upside as well potentially also hedge their portfolio given the concentration risk in the market from these names. So that's one common sentiment. And then another, particularly in speaking to a lot of international investors, we've heard is people looking for exposure to these names and trading options on these names in global trading hours, so more local hours to their local market. So being able to offer that, I think is really important to us.
Yeah.
Maybe turning it back to you, Natalie, can you walk us through this index, how it's constructed? What are the names, that's currently in the index?
Yeah, so the Magnificent 10 Index, or MGTN as we are calling it, think Mag 7 plus AMD, Broadcom, and Palantir. A couple of notes that are important to know about the index. The first is that it's 10 equal weighted names.
Okay.
The basket of names, the index will re-weight on a monthly basis so that there will never be any too high of skew to one name or too high of weighting to one name over the others. And also the constituents will be fixed, barring any corporate actions. You will always know those 10 names are going to be in the index at any given time.
Great. So as you mentioned, the index itself launched in October of this year. Can you tell us more about the plans around tradable products for this index?
Yes, absolutely. So we are going to have index options and futures on Mag 10. The options and futures are going to be cash settled, and the options are European style. And both retail and institutional clients alike have really leaned into this trend in thematic investing. So we're hoping that between these two products, the futures trading and global trading hours, as you mentioned, we're hoping that we're going to be able to provide both precision and flexibility to trading this narrative.
That's great.
Yeah. And then, Mandy, we just talked about some of the products that we're bringing. Could you walk us through some of the use cases for these products, maybe that we're not thinking about?
Sure. And I think day one, there will be a lot of interest in using these options and futures for directional exposure, right, to the theme, whether it's for upside directional exposure or to hedge, as I mentioned earlier. But I think beyond that, there will be additional use cases, for example, relative value, both in terms of performance, like, and the Mag 10 versus S&P relative performance, but also relative value, volatility trading, and volatility of the Mag 10 index versus, say, the S&P index. People looking to trade the spread between the two. In addition, as we know, this is, the index is comprised of 10 of the most active liquid single name options. So you will have an opportunity to trade the index option versus, say, the basket, the constituent, and gain exposure to the correlation of that basket or the dispersion of the names within that basket. So I think a lot of additional trading opportunities beyond just directional exposure.
Yeah, and if you're looking for more information on the index or the tradable products, you can always reach out to your CBO sales coverage or visit us.
All right, so let's go straight into the actual Mag 10. All right, so let's see what this is talking about. So let me pull up the trading platform, and here's the Mag 10. So if you ever want to create your own watch list, all you have to do is click down here on the gear and you can go watch list. Or another way you can do it is just click on there and click on create watch list. Create watch list. You can then go in and add Apple, NVDA, Broadcom, AMD, Microsoft, Tesla, Google, Amazon, right? So here's how we can quickly go through these stock charts. If I want to make sure I click the link it to the red. I don't like how there's so much room on the right here. So let me just go to the settings and go to the time frame. And then let's just go 15. Okay, so now let's take a look, right? The Mag 7, Apple hitting right against resistance. We are trying to peek our head. If this thing breaks through, I want in, right? So click buy, edit, stop. That's one order. That is waiting for Apple here to break resistance. Why would I want to buy here when it could potentially go back down? It's rallied from 275 all the way up to 316. Let's get this thing up to 320 and find this newfound momentum on the upside. NVIDIA continues to run up. Look at that big move today. We have a position in NVIDIA right here. See NVIDIA? We bought one share. And we are in this position. We bought it at 200. It's up 209. We got $9. That's just one share of NVIDIA. AVGO, which is Broadcom. Broadcom pulled back from 495, about $100 pullback. This is resistance support, right? So you can see this resistance right here back in March acted as new support, right? This is psychologically when they get back to the old resistance, it bounced off of it, and now we're at 399, 400. Next up on this Mag 10 is AMD. AMD also consolidating near the top with all these AI companies pushing forward. Microsoft is the laggard, right? Look at Microsoft. We initially went as high as 555 in July of last year. Since then, we've lost over $200, right? Almost 40% haircut. But look at the value here. We're here at Costco wholesale prices. So if this thing gets near 350 or 360, I'm going to set an alert and ooh, excuse me, at or below this, let me know so I can put and position myself to take advantage if it gets down there. Tesla consolidating sideways. This is Elon Musk right there. Google also kind of pulling back a little bit. Resistance. Do we have potential support right here, right? This is a potential support area, and it's support back here. So if this thing gets back down, Google, get me near 342, create an alert at or below, boom. And then the last two is Palantir. Palantir also near the lows, yearly lows. So we got 207 as the high. Currently we're priced at 126. That's $100, dude. That's almost a 50% haircut. And what we're going to do here is we're going to create an alert, right? This thing did find some temporary support right here at about 126, right? 1, 2, and then broke through it, 106, $20 haircut. And now we're back at this 126 area. So we'll see if this thing can bounce off of here. Set me an alert at 130. Right? This is how you trade. Your searches should feed your watch list, right? This is feeding into my watch list. Then my watch list is going to feed into my trades. And the last, we have Amazon. Amazon here, taking a quick little technical analysis picture, 278, 195. Woo, that's about $80. And now we're right in the middle. Do I see resistance? There is a little bit of resistance right here. 1, 2, support, 1, 2. So this resistance area is going to be a potential barrier. So let's create an alert that says if we get above that, I want you to ping me, right? So see how all these triggers, these are all active alerts. Some have canceled, some are still waiting to get triggered. So that's how you want to look at your technical analysis. Remember, your searches should feed your watch list, and then your watch list should feed your trades. That's the process that we're going to go through, right? And then once you find a trade, then you got to go through the next process, which is the 3-step process. When you find the trade, then you got to build the trade. Once you build the trade by defining your risks, selecting the right strategy that matches your outlook, the last part is to execute it, making sure you use bracket orders, stop loss, OCOs, right? So that's how you remove your emotion from the trade. Remember, math, money, mindset. If you just keep those 3 as your framework, you won't go wrong. It's when we start to over leverage, the math is out of whack, our mental is starting to play tricks on us, then we get off our game. But if you just focus on the fundamental framework, you'll be on the right side. So that, folks, is the MAG 10. And if you want to actually trade the MAG 10, let me share this. See, these are the 10 stocks. And if you wanted to actually trade the actual index, right? Why MAG 10 index options? Access all 7 names plus broad compounds here. So MGTN, the MAG 10, no longer MAG 7, right? So MAG 10, MGTN. Let's see, MGTN. CBOE, Magnificent 10 Index, right? You can actually, MGTN, CGI, let's see here. Right? So here's the MAG 10. It's at 500. So, wow, 372 to 530, right? Just this basket alone during the Iran war, boom, we went from 372. We added almost 125 bucks. It's pulled back to 500. We'll see if this MAG 10 can break through this short-term resistance area, but you can actually trade this. And if you go to options, they have 0 days. It's going to expire this Friday. Anyways, it's Friday. Everybody has expirations on the third Friday of every month, but this one has weeklies as well. So if I wanted to trade this, you can see I can sell, I can buy options. In other words, make bets or sell insurance on this. So that is it, folks. That is your MAG 10. Hopefully you guys learned something new. Continue to subscribe to this channel. Every time I go on live stream, I'm going to try to teach you guys something new, something applicable, something that you can use to make your money work for you. And since this is the last 30 minutes of the market, let's take a look at our portfolio real quick. And I'm going to always check the SPX, right? The SPX 75.75 going into the daily chart. We got bullishness. I think it's trying to get up to 7,600. So if we look at our trades here, for the more advanced options traders, right? I got SPX here. I'm up about 150 bucks on SPX. Actually, am I out of it already? Oh, I am out of it. So I made 150 on SPX. To look at our account, right? We went from 3,000. This is the challenge, to make 1% a day. 1%, your road to financial freedom. So 1% is only 30 bucks, right? So I actually didn't place the first trade until 3 days ago. So 3 days should be 30, 30, 30. I should be up 90 bucks in 3 days if I'm trying to make 1%. But I'm up $261, right? And what are we doing? We're just trading stocks, looking at short-term technical analysis, and I'm looking at mixing in potential option plays. And if you guys take a look at my order history, people who want to look at particular options, what I did was I sold this vertical, right? I sold the 70, actually, no, I bought this vertical. See this vertical at 11.14? I bought this vertical for $2 and then I sold it for $3.50. That's where you get $150 profit. Once you learn options, right? You can see these are options trades. You can actually use leverage to your advantage and actually increase your returns with very limited capital. So I'm going to go in here. This is the last day of the week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're growing our account every day. Let me take a quick snippet. Which one is the snippet button here? I got to make sure there. And then we're going to update the journal, right? So we go into our trading journal, and for the challenge, we're trying to grow 1% a day, folks. This is your path to financial freedom, and this is how we're going to get there, by making 1% a day. It's all about compound interest, consistency, trading small, trading often, and letting the math play out. Remember, trading, it's not luck, just math. Stay disciplined. Keep your focus on your goals. Trade with purpose. Trade with clarity, trade with confidence. You see me, I'm placing trades left and right. I don't really care if I get stopped out because I'm only risking very small, right? When you're risking very small, your emotions are now no longer as tied to your position because you're no longer evaluating yourself on the result of any one trade. You're looking at your performance over 10, 20, 30 trades. And you can see my portfolio, gosh, just this week alone, look at how many trades I have in here, right? But it doesn't matter because these are all one share, one share. I'm long, I'm short, I'm long, I'm short. So that is a great start to the week, folks. We are up $256 in 3 days, right? That's almost 10% in 3 days. And you think people are happy with 10, 20% a year. If you actually take the time to learn specialized knowledge, this is not rocket science, folks. Buying stock, as you guys can see what I've been doing, nothing here is that complicated. I'm here to show you how to do it like a professional, not gambling, but trading responsibly. So hopefully you guys learned something. I'm going to let you look over my shoulder, get through my head, my thought process, so that you guys can learn to take control of your financial future and pursue your true passions. All right, folks. Great week. Thank you for watching, taking the time out of your day to try to learn a new skill, because the best investment is yourself. You earn the best interest. So until then, have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the second week of the 90-day challenge.